SNB. SNB holds you to account.
Whether you're in school or not, any opportunity we create for skill acquisition, please avail yourself that opportunity. Like I said, you can also
sleep around there. You know that they have what is called bush market. Very early in the morning, as early as 4 o'clock, down the road.
I'm a lawyer. Let him show me. The man has not cited one project, consensus project, from that 1990.
If they are there
today,
I'm saying they are not much. If they are there in the element, I don't want to join issue with my brother.
Watch Stewardship with SNB whenever, wherever, however, at this time on RSTV. Stewardship with SNB.
Hello, it's the 13th day of June 2019. It's another date you have with us here in the live studio of RSTV Channel 22 Port Harcourt. It's the program Stewardship with SNB. As usual, let's have my take before the program begins. In government, the office of the Secretary to State Government is ranking appointed executive branch official whose main responsibility is to assist the government achieve its vision and objectives through the provision of advice and guidance. In addition, the SSG handles policy making and oversees the implementation of decisions, policies and programs, as well as operation of government ministries, agencies and parastatals. In summary, the office of the Secretary to Government is the engine room of government. A few days ago, the governor of Rivers State announced his first appointments, one of whom is Dr. Tani Wenike Dadagogo, former Minister of Sports, as Secretary to Government, Rivers State Government. Governor Wike told Rivers people at the swearing-in ceremony that capacity, loyalty, and competence to deliver would be considered for appointments. The question on the lips of Rivers people is that what constitutes undiluted loyalty and competence, in the words of the governor, to attract his attention for appointment? How did the Rivers people welcome the first appointments? What about the Calabari Kingdom and their Bonima community, where the new SSG comes from? Joining me in the studio today is a former Caretaker Committee Chairman, AKUKU local government area, and of course a PDP stalwart in the area, Honorable SOBEREKON CLARKE, and the executive assistant to Honorable ROWLAND, SEKIBO, the chairman of AKUKU local government area, Barrister AWOERE LAWSON. To join the conversation, call the numbers 080-3341-3360 or send text messages only to the number 080-5347-8400. You can watch us live on GoTV channel 103 and StarTime channel 113. You can also watch our previous editions of the program on YouTube at Stewardship with SNB. Join our social media platforms on Facebook and Twitter, still at Stewardship with SNB. My name is Solomon Nelson Braid. We'll get back to you to unveil my guest here in the studio. Join us again.
Stewardship with SNB.
4 persons have become the first set of appointees into the Rivers State Cabinet of the second tenure of the Wike'S administration. They are the Secretary to the State Government, Tami Dadagogo, Chief of Staff to the Governor, Emeka Nwoke, the Attorney General and Commissioner for Justice, Zacchaeus Adango, and the Commissioner for Finance, Isaac Kamalo. Governor Wike said vital lessons have been learned from his first tenure, and no more will people be appointed whose intention is to pull down the government from within, pointing out that swearing in of the new appointees means the second administration has commenced in earnest to deliver on the mandate given by Rivers people. The governor said capacity to deliver, competence, and 100% loyalty are the criteria for appointment, and berated those clamoring for particular position to an ethnic group. He urged those wanting not to take their positions for granted, resist the temptation of reducing their offices to ethnic affairs, and be willing to make sacrifices for the good of the state.
I will not appoint people. When you appoint them, they run down the government. So it is not going to happen again. The appointments I made, nobody lobbied me. Nobody spoke to me. I made my conclusion that these are the right people I need. So I will take time to make all the appointments because I have to scrutinize people. I have learned lessons in the last tenure. This tenure, I would make sure people who are appointed are those who are willing to work and for you to move the state forward. Those who are willing to make sacrifices, not those who will be crying every day.
Speaking with newsmen, the newly sworn-in cabinet members bear their minds on the charge given to them by the governor and their determination to contribute the best in serving the state.
We are coming in with a very high sense of responsibility, hard work, honesty, humility and honor. By the grace of God, we are here to support him to achieve these laudable objectives.
Stewardship with SNB.
If you have just joined us, you're on to the program Stewardship with SNB, and I have with me in the studio, first to my immediate left, right rather, is Honorable SOBEREKON CLARKE, who is a former Caretaker Committee Chairman of AKUKU local government area, and of course a PDB stalwart in that local government area. Honorable SOBEREKON CLARKE, you're welcome to Stewardship with SNB.
Thank you.
And then we also have Barrister LAWSON. Barrister LAWSON is the Executive Assistant to Honorable ROWLAND SEKIBO, the Chairman of AKUKU local government area. Barrister LAWSON, welcome to the program.
Thank you.
Gentlemen, we watched the governor when he was swearing in the new SSG, your son, and the son of AKUKU local government area. He gave his charge. He said nobody lobbied him. It was out of his personal conviction that he chose his first set of lieutenants to work with him, including Dr. Tamil Anagogo, the SSG. In spite of this, he also said that capacity, loyalty, and of course competence were key that informed his decision to appoint these set of people that are to move Rivers State forward. Now, Dr. Tamil Anagogo is from AKUKU local government area. And during the elections, AKUKU suffered wanton destruction of lives and property in the hands of security agents. Many are thinking that in spite of this competence, loyalty, the governor said that the governor will also pacify the AKUKU people with this appointment. First to SOBEREKON CLARKE, is this true?
Well, for me, this is a very wrong notion and very wrong idea. For me, it's a total fallacy because appointment is not made on the basis of whether you lost your property, whether you died, or whether you destroy your things, or so you have destroyed your things or not. It's not the issue. That is not the metric for appointment. Usually, political appointments are made on the basis of competence and capacity and loyalty, just like the governor said. And they have not compensated us because it's a sacrifice we made. We believe in justice. We have come to ensure that we want to ensure that democracy comes to stay. This is our reason. And so when the military came and they wanted to pervert justice, we stood our ground and we said, no, it can never happen. And so we resisted them with our lives. And we are not doing this thing for the governor or for anybody or for Alaba, but we are doing it for democracy and for the entire Nigerians. And so this is our reason. So if today Dr. Tamil Anagogo is appointed, I believe he's appointed on the basis of competence, on the basis of loyalty, and of course you know that he's a politician, he's a political juggernaut. And loyalty must count in appointment. You cannot give appointment to somebody who is disloyal. You know, it doesn't work that way.
The governor said so.
Yes.
They said it cannot be 99.999. It has to be 100%.
100%. Of course, you know that. But when you talk about loyalty, Honorable Dr. Tami Wike'S is overwhelmingly loyal. Even when you look at him, you see loyalty well expressed. You see the loyalty
in his countenance.
In his countenance. So I think the Magugu merits the appointment. It is not because of what we encountered during the election. The appointment was given to him on the basis of merit, and nothing more, nothing short of it.
Okay, let's hear from Barrister LAWSON, who is the executive assistant to the chairman of AKUKU local area. Was this appointment of Tami Dangogo on merit, or the governor was trying to pacify the AKUKU people who suffered the wanton destruction in hands of the security agents during elections?
Well, I want to say, for persons who are of the opinion that it's because the people of Bonima particularly are being pacified for what happened, it's a wrong notion, and that opinion is wrong. And then if you look at the track record of Dr. Tami Dangogo, you will sure agree with me that he's one person who had made value of himself in politics. And you know, for you to succeed in every sphere of life, you must make yourself to be valuable. And then if you look at the office of the SSG, it's an office that is valuable and of high repute. So you will look at persons who have that value to occupy such positions. That's what I think.
Yeah, we also listened to the new SSG, Dr. Tami Dangogo, when he was fielding questions from journalists, that he is going to do his job with high sense of responsibility and, of course, humility. What do you make of it?
Yes, this is not the first time he's been given office. I think he has a track record of handling offices. And then if you look at him way back, I think maybe some persons do not even know this. He was the LAWSON president of the Faculty of Law, River State University of Science and Technology, as it was called then, now River State University. Most persons do not know that. And then from there, he had graduated to become a local government chairman, and then he became two-time commissioner, a minister. And in all of this, if you look at it, he had not for one time be found wanting in all of these offices that were given to him. So sure bet, I tell you that he will deliver. And if you look at the governor himself, our governor is one person we know that is not, he doesn't keep sacred cows. He's very advocal, he's open, and he has said it. So even from the tone of the governor, you will sure agree with me that this appointment is because he has that capacity and is competent to handle it. So for sure, Dr. Tami Dangogo will competently handle this office.
The SSG said he's going to discharge his responsibilities, his duties with a sense of responsibility and humility. What do you make of it?
Well, he has said this all. The SSG, we know, is somebody who has occupied an exalted position before, something greater than this. He has been a minister for sports at the federal level. Now, this is somebody who has gathered a lot of experience, even at the federal level. And naturally, one would say, how can somebody who has occupied such position come in to handle the office of SSG? And that shows how humble the man is. And now he has decided to bring his own wealth of experience to ensure that Rivers people enjoy good governance. And I think that is the basic thing. And so he will, not only that, he has been commissioner twice, he has been a local government chairman, he has been a legal advisor to PDP, so you can imagine the wealth of experience he has gathered. So he is overwhelmingly qualified for that position. He is competent, humble, I think he has all the virtues necessary to occupy that position and to deliver results. That is it.
Now, Barrister LAWSON, the governor said that it was out of his personal conviction that he made these appointments. Nobody consulted him, nobody lobbied him. Now, if you take a look at the appointments, the deputy governor is from Calabari, and the new SSG is also from Calabari. Why do you think the governor is giving double blessings to the Calabaris?
We are talking about competence here. And if you want to look at it from that perspective, you will not rightly say it's double blessing, because as if the governor is favoring the Calabar people. It's not so to say, but except you are looking at it from the perspective that God has blessed us with this appointment. But however, on the part of the governor, from the governor's voice, he had said that this appointment is coming on the grounds of loyalty, competence and capacity. The governor himself have also said that this appointment is not for ethnic, because he himself is from Ikwere. He will be favoring the Ikwere people. He said no, that he is going to make his appointment based on the three words he had mentioned: loyalty, capacity and competence. So at this point, I think we should jettison the area of being favoring a particular section of the state, no, but for competence.
Honorable Sobereko, would it be untrue to say that the appointment of Dr. Tamin Anagogo as SSG will indeed assuage the pains of the Abonima people who actually suffered in the hands of the security agencies during the military? Although you have said that the appointment was not based on that, and the governor too has said so, but don't you think it will actually assuage the pains of
in my earlier speech, I had already told you that this appointment is not made on the basis of what we lost, because what we suffered. Actually, we suffered a lot. But I think the governor, when you look at the governor, is an unbiased person. He is not a prejudiced person when it comes to matters like this. The governor, because of the love he has for Rivers people, is looking for very competent people to work with him, and not because of what we suffered and so on. I have told you that Dr. Tamin Anagogo is competent based on the several key positions he had held in the past. He is very competent, extremely competent. In fact, could have qualified for that position. How can somebody who had held the ministerial position coming to serve as SAG in the state? You can imagine, it was because of his competence they recommended him for ministerial position. And the same competence he is now coming to serve his own state. He had served at the federal level, now coming to serve at the state level. I think that, look, that notion for me is a total fallacy, a wrong opinion, a wrong notion altogether, that to persuade, to pacify, to ameliorate our pains and so on. For us, it is untrue. It is untrue. I have said it often and often.
Now, talking about Dr. Tamin Anagogo being a former Minister of Sports, one would have expected that he will not come down to the state to handle any position again. He was Minister high up there, now SSG. What do you make of it?
I think that opinion is also wrong. I am one person. Let me give you an analogy. The chief of staff to President Barack Obama in 2008, when he was elected president as the first black man to be president of the United States of America, he appointed Ralph Emanuel to be the chief of staff. And I tell you, after a while, the Ralph Emanuel resigned and then went further to contest for the office of the mayor of New York, and he won that election and became the 50th mayor of New York.
Okay.
And if you bring that to our own context here, it will be as if you are degrading yourself. Appointments or electoral offices, it is basically to serve the people, just as this program is stewardship. And then when you are out to serve the people, it does not matter whether it is low, high, federal, local government, at what level it comes. At whatever level it comes, the opportunity that it had availed yourself to serve your people is most important, and then to serve them in such a way that history will have you that was this time you were there and you had this capacity to carry the office, to do what was necessary as was bestowed on you.
Okay, the roving lens of stewardship caught up with the first citizen of Abonima. I'm talking about the king of Abonima community, King D'Israel BOB-MANUEL, and he has these words to share. Let's take a look at it. Let's listen to it.
Stewardship with SNB.
It is a thing of joy. We say it's a thing of joy because our people don't celebrate just because our son has been appointed. we always celebrate when the right peg has been put in the right hole. We know Dr. Tami Danagogo as a forthright person. We know him as an astute strategist. He's been local government chairman. He was a practicing lawyer for a long time, and he was also a past minister for sports. So he has worked at various levels and has acquired tremendous experience, and we know that he will do very well. So I congratulate His Excellency for making the right choice, and I also congratulate Dr. Tami Danagogo for having been chosen, and for the community and the state recognizing his personality and how good he can be.
Stewardship with SNB.
Well, gentlemen, we listened to King Disrael BOB-MANUEL, the Amainu of Bonima Kingdom. They said the words of our elders are words of wisdom. He described Dr. Tami Danagogo as a strategist. Let's take it from there. Sobereko, what does the Amainu mean by Dr. Danagogo being a strategist?
Well, in my earlier analysis, I told you Danagogo is a political juggernaut. He is a commander of the political forces of AKUKU. Not only that, he is very kind, very generous. In fact, he's a philanthropist. I think a lot of Aboduma people are enjoying his scholarship scheme, and so on. He gives free scholarship to a lot of people who are going to school. This singular reason alone is enough for people to love him. And so not only that, Danagogo is superlatively qualified for this position. One is he has a PhD in law.
Okay.
Not only that, he has been a one-time local government chairman, to a local advisor to PDP
at the state level.
At the state level.
Okay.
Then two, he was a commissioner for local government and also commissioner for chieftaincy.
And then urban development, I think so.
No, urban development, chieftaincy and urban development, or something like that. Now, you can imagine the accumulation of knowledge and experiences. So he is superlatively qualified for this very position. I'm telling you, he is more than qualified for that position. So when the Amayanabo is saying he's a strategist, I mean, I think he used the right word. He is correct.
Okay, let's hear from Barrister LAWSON, AWOERE LAWSON. What do you understand by the Amayanabo describing the SHG as a strategist?
First, let's look at it from this perspective that he had garnered a lot of experiences in the offices he had held before now. Now, not to forget that during the campaign that was set up, the campaign council that was set up by the governor, if you recollect, he's also a member of that campaign, and he is particularly in the technical committee.
Okay.
And then for sure, and they had worked with the governor, and then the governor must have, in that opportunity, seeing his capability, seeing its competence, and then also had seen his loyalty. So to say he's a strategist, I'm sure where it's thoroughly coming from, it's in the appointment that he was made part of the council and was the part of the technical committee to the campaign council. If you want to say he's a strategist, he must have thoroughly, like as I said earlier, done his bit during the electionary period.
Okay, Honorable Sobereko, the Amayanabo also said that Dr. Tami Danagogo is the right peg in the right hole. You've eulogized him here with so much beautiful words here, but the Amayanabo has also said that he's the right peg in the right hole. Could you briefly comment on that?
Well, I think I still need to repeat myself. Honorable Dr. Tami Danagogo, as we know him, not just because of his academic qualification or because of the position he has held. I mean, he's somebody who is full of the milk of human kindness, very kind and extremely generous. He's a selfless politician. He's somebody who thinks about others. He does not think about himself. And he has shown this several times. You know, he carries people along. He goes across boards. So when the Amayano for the Amayano of Abonoma to our king to say that, I think it's a right perspective. It's in the right perspective. It's in order.
Okay. Well, for the past 30 minutes or so, we've been talking to Honorable SOBEREKON CLARKE, former CDC Chairman, AKUKU Local Government Area, and Barrister AWOERE LAWSON, who is the Executive Assistant to the Chairman of AKUKU Local Government Area, Honorable ROWLAND SEKIBO. We'll take a short break and then we'll return back to the live studio where we'll take more of your calls and of course your messages on the other side of the break. Stay with us.
Stewardship with SNB. SNB holds you to account.
Whether you're in school or not, any opportunity will create for skill acquisition. Please avail yourself that opportunity. Like I said, you can also
live around there. You know that they have what is called bush market. Very early in the morning, as early as 4 o'clock, down the road.
I'm a lawyer.
And during
Let him sue me. The man has not cited one project, constituency project, from that 1990.
If they are there,
today.
I'm saying they are not much. If they are there in the element, I don't want to join issue with my brother.
Watch Stewardship with SNB whenever, wherever, however, at this time on RSTV. Stewardship with SNB. What do you do on a Thursday afternoon? Having lunch? Taking a drink? Watching TV in your living room or office? How much do you know about the politics, economy, and how monies are being expended by those saddled with the responsibility of managing human, material, and natural resources? It's daring, incisive, revealing, and informative. Watch Stewardship with SMB every Thursday at 12:30 p.m. on RSTV. Join us.
Well, welcome back. On this segment, we'll take more of your calls, and so you can participate on this program by calling the number 080-3341-3360. Again, 080-3341-3360. The numbers will be displayed on your TV set over there. And you can send text messages only to the number 080-5347-8400. Gentlemen, welcome back again on the second segment of the program.
Thank you.
Now, in what areas of the economy, SOBEREKON, of the reverse economy, do you expect Tabi Danagogo to advise the government to do better? Because the position of the SSG is an advisory role on major policy decisions and implementations and all of that. So, in what areas of the reverse economy can you advise him, or can you say Tabi Danagogo should advise the governor to do better?
Of course, the area of the economy, you see, a lot of things are happening in the country, and many people attribute it to joblessness. You know, like there's a lot of the security issues we're having in the country, and particularly here in River State. So people feel that it's because of...
just hold on, we'll continue that. Let's allow our view. Good afternoon. Hello? Good afternoon. Could you turn down the volume of the TV set, please? Or you move away from it? There's a huge interference. Could you move away from your TV set, or you turn down the volume? We barely can hear you. Turn down the volume, please. Thank you. Yes. Good afternoon. You may say your name and where you're calling from, please. Who, please? Who? Okay, Baminabo calling from Garrison, Port Harcourt. Go on, Baminabo. Okay.
And I pray that God will tell me the level to become the governor of State. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you so much. Yes, you heard that caller, that he is overqualified for that position. Let's take another call. Hello, good afternoon. Hello, good afternoon. Hello, good afternoon.
Yes, good afternoon, my brother.
You're on to Stewardship with SMB here in RSTV.
Yeah, good afternoon.
Good afternoon. You may say your name and where you're calling from, please.
Yeah. Let me look at from the jail.
You are who?
I said, look at man calling from the jail.
Lugaman.
Yes, yeah.
Okay, I'm sure that's your nickname.
No, that's my reason. Look at man.
Okay, Lugaman, whatever. Okay, go on, Lugaman from the chain.
Yeah, you see, I congratulate Sammy that I could go on his appointment. Hello?
Go on, we can hear you loud and clear.
I congratulate Sammy that I could go on his appointment. But what I'm saying is that it's only the secretaryship to River area, and the government, the word of this is that area. My program is so good for us.
The government
about other like the village, but already the government have told us that the first tenor. Hello?
Go on.
The government have already told us that the whole district is first tenor that the commissioner have supported it. But how I wish this
Lugaman, let me inform you. Are you aware that the governor has not finished his appointment? So this is just the first set of appointments to drive the institution of government, and that more appointments are coming. And every yes, go on.
Yeah, the two appointments, they have made already. One of them, second of them, the two that the two key appointments that we have made. To take my point, that how do you expect, how do you think that when you tell the first one, and during the second term, you walk again?
Is that what? You heard him clear?
Yes.
Yes. You can briefly comment on the two callers that we allowed to participate.
The first caller and said Dr. Tami Danagogo is eminently qualified for the office. I join him in that. But his second statement, I think that's not what we are here for. We are here to talk about stewardship and then looking at the appointment of Dr. Tami Danagogo, if it does fit into what the governor said whilst he was inaugurating or swearing in the SSG and the other appointees. Now, for the second caller who was making this position, whether the deputy governor is of the Calabari and then the SSG is of the Calabari too, I think that position is neither here nor there, because if you look at the governor's statement, three keywords mentioned there was loyalty, capacity, and competence. So if you put that in place, and then I think it should also come to a time when in our polity we should be looking at competence. We should not put mediocres before meritocracy. We should look at those who are, who merit these positions, because it doesn't matter where the person comes from. Yes, I don't want to see where mediocrity will overrun meritocracy in River State. So let's begin to see how this kind of politics will be played out, where we will entirely be looking at merit. If a man merits the office, give it to him. Let him run it.
Yes.
Yes. Basically, he has said it all. He has said it all. The truth of the matter is that, like I told you, River State, I think in Nigeria particularly, that is one of our major problems we need to address. We don't need to let us jettison ethnic politics, for it is not doing any good to the country. Let us begin to look for credible materials people who are qualified, people who have the capacity, people who have the love and passion to develop, to transform this state, to take this state to the next level. I think these are the quality of people we need. We don't want to know where they come from. If a man who loves this country, who is patriotic, who is so selfless, even if the whole appointment is coming from a particular place, and we know that, because you may have somebody from your place, the person may not even bother to develop your place. He may not even do anything. And for me, I know Dr. Tami Oyedekin-Danagogo. Tami Oyedekin-Danagogo has nothing to do. This one is my brother, this one is my sister, and so on. He is somebody, Tami Oyedekin-Danagogo is somebody who is loved across the state and even beyond. Yeah, he has a lot of friends in Ogoni, in Ikwere, in Bear, and so on. People love him. Why? Just for one single reason. He is very humble.
So he talked about it.
Yes, he is very humble. He is somebody who is dependable. You understand? He is somebody who is dependable and forthright. So when you look at human, and he's God fearing. And so when you look at characters like that, if you look at his track record, he has never been found wanting in any of the area, and so he has been delivering. And so these are the kind of people we need. And secondly, whether deputy governor comes from Kalabari area or not, it's same material. Look at like in Ikwere, for instance, Omeya came. People feel that Omeya is credible, and then she came. And when Wike came, we said, oh, Wike is qualified, and Wike has the zeal, the passion to develop River State. And look at what he is doing today. You understand? So leadership, I mean, for me, if you want to get quality leadership, forget about ethnicity and just go look for the right persons. That's all.
Let's hear from this caller. Hello, good afternoon.
Hello.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
This is Stewardship on RSTV Port Harcourt.
My name is
Christian Oyedikachi from Eche.
Yes.
Okay, Oyedikachi, go on.
No, I'm just trying to know what you people are doing from the station.
Oh, you've not been following the program?
Yes.
Okay, watch and you'll get to know what we're talking about, all right? Then you call back. Thank you, Oyedikachi. Yes, Mr. Lawson, in what areas of the river's economy would you want the new SSG to advise government to do better?
To drive every economy, we know that is the policy that the government puts in place that will drive the economy to the heights or to the level, to their desired goals and wants. And basically, if we look at our economy, we must not deny it. Our revenue is basically mainly on oil. So firstly, we will advise that they make the SSG, that's to say Dr. Tami Danagogo, he will advise the governor on policies that will make this environment conducive for companies that will come in to do that business. And then,
okay, go on.
And then also another is that another is agriculture. If policies will be made to drive agriculture forward.
Mr. Lawson, you continue with that thought. Let's hear from this caller. Hello, good afternoon. Oh, we lost that call. Yes, maybe I should swing over to Honorable SOBEREKON CLARKE. In which areas of the river's economy would you want the new SSG to advise government? But before you answer that question, let's hear from this caller. Hello, good afternoon. Hello, good afternoon. Oh. Hello. Hello, good afternoon. Good afternoon. Yeah, this is Stewardship on RSTV. We can hear you loud and clear. Please go on with the questions or your contributions. Hello? Hello? Oh. Hello, good afternoon. Good afternoon. Please say your name and where you're calling from. But before you can do that, hold on. Turn down the volume for the TV set or move away from it. Hello, move away from your TV set? Please, could you move away from your TV set? So, your line is distorted. The call is distorted. Okay, go on. We can hear you a little bit.
I think it's from...
Hello? Yes, go on. We're so sorry we can't continue with that call. We're having some interferences from the airwaves, maybe. Yes, we were talking about how best to advise government on some economic policies to better the loss of rivers people. SOBEREKON.
Well, in my opinion, I think I will talk about power, that is electricity and agriculture, and then the issue of security. Now, two things are very important in socio-economic development. Now, these two key things are power and security, because there is no company that would like to invest under an atmosphere of war, under an atmosphere of insecurity. Now, when the place is safe, the governor is trying, he has tried his best. I think he's still putting in more effort. But we will advise Dr. Wike'S to advise the governor on the issue of security, so that when the place is safe, foreign investors cannot come in and invest. And that will address the problem of joblessness, unemployment. Now, the other issue is that when we are talking about, we must, if there is no human being can survive without food. Food is one of the basic necessities of life. Now, we must have food security. That is another one. And for us to have food security, it means that we must embark on agriculture. We must encourage agriculture. So I want Dr. Wike'S to advise the governor to take the issue of agriculture very seriously. That is another angle that will also address the problem of unemployment and will also bring security in the state. I think these are the two areas, so that food will be abundant, employment will be everywhere. Most importantly, like I told you, if there is no energy, if there is no energy, no company can operate. And if they operate, we will be buying things at exorbitant prices. So it's a simple economic analysis.
Okay, let's quickly take this text message from this number. The name is not there, but it's coming from 08037060332. Good morning, RSTV. Danagugu is a good person and qualified for the position of SSG. My advice to him is for him to advise the government to go into aggressive industrialization of River State to create jobs. That's what we're talking about.
Exactly.
Also, we should drive agriculture for massive food production. Our security architecture needs to be improved.
Yes, you know, I was talking on that before the call came in. I was talking on agriculture. The policies for agricultural sector in the state need to be looked at, probably overhauled, probably re-strategize on it, and I trust in the competence of Dr. Danagugu. Just like the Amainabo had described him as a strategist, I believe that he was going to strategize on policies that will make our agriculture drive forward, and food security will be provided for.
Okay, let's hear from this caller. Hello, good afternoon.
Yeah,
good afternoon. May we meet you and where you're calling from, please?
My name is Lambert. I'm calling from Lambert.
Ibinabo who?
Lambert.
Okay, Ibinabo Lambert. Okay, Ibinabo Lambert, thank you for joining us. You may share your thoughts with us or ask your question.
I just want to contribute.
Go on.
Yeah, I actually a couple of leaders state that Honorable Danagugu is the best for the office that he has been given by the governor of River State.
Okay. Okay.
So far with his profile, now I was sure people of River State should not go and sleep that the office
will be well handled and controlled by Tami Danagogo.
Thank you so much for your contribution. Thank you. Yes, you were talking about security. It brings us back to the governor's charge to traditional rulers, local government chairmen, CDCs, and of course other youth bodies in the various communities. How far has your local government area, let me first ask you, because you work directly with the executive chairman, what efforts has your chairman and of course the council of leadership done to actually arrest this seeming swelling insecurity?
Before the elections, it's there. My boss, the chairman of council, Honorable ROWLAND SEKIBO, had employed a means, and what he did was each ward, we had this security architecture that on each ward 20 persons were employed, and then they do the security bidding, and that's through that we were able to see that security came in place in the environment. And if you look at it, before the elections, there were no issues as to security concern in the LGA before the elections, if not for just that itch by the Nigerian military, what we call genocide that was orchestrated on the people of Abonima. If not before that time, we had this good pally with the security architecture, the SSS, the army, the civil defense, the police. We were working in harmony, and then security was provided for. And let me also say this too. One other very important aspect, my colleague here had also said that, the Honorable has said that electricity is one, and my boss believes that perhaps because, particularly in the night, my boss believes that if the place, if communities, cities, towns and villages are well lit, electricity is provided, it also drives away crime in the night. And that's why if you go to my community, you will see that the chairman had provided electricity for the people. And I tell you, what happens there is that everybody who is there, the local government pays for the electricity bill of the entire local government, and that's what happens there. And you can't imagine that paying electricity bill for, and it's not shown. And sometimes he will say the amount of money we invest in electricity, providing that, and that also had gone in with people who are into small scale businesses. None of them do have the worry of paying electricity bill. And I do tell some person wherever I find myself, I say, if you have any small industry, any small business, you have to do. So
do they sleep with their two eyes closed in terms of security?
That's what I'm saying. They sleep with their two eyes closed, and then they sleep in the comfort of electricity.
Okay.
The whole of the street lights are all well lit, and then it's managed in such a way, AKUKU is managed in such a way that when PHEDC, if there is no light, we have our own generator that we used to, in an alternative mode, that we used to lit up the local government, the area, particularly the headquarters, that's Abonima. There's a mechanism that is put in place that if PHCD does not give us light, we put on our, the local government puts on its personal generator.
Okay. Now, we're gradually winding now, but let me not just ask this question. How does the new SSG plan to bring his wealth of experience to bear in terms of governance? Even though we know that he has been there, this task, of course, is quite huge. How does he plan to bring his wealth of experience to bear? Of all these experiences that both of you have enumerated, mentioned here, how does he plan to bring them to bear in governance? Honorable Clarke.
Of course, for me, the Honorable Dr. Tami Danagogo is a very experienced man. He's a very experienced man. And like I said, I was talking about power and so on. I think if there is no light, he also knows there is no light. The government is also affected. Companies are also affected. I think it's also true, if there is no security in the state, I think he is also affected, he is also disturbed. And so he has served in governance, he has served in government, and he knows the problem, the nitty-gritty of government. And so he knows what to do to ensure that these seeming problems are over.
Okay, just before we go, Barrister AWOERE LAWSON, when the announcement was made by the governor that Dr. Tamina AKUKU is now the new SSG here in River State, how did the people of Abonima receive the message?
I think I would rather not say the people of Abonima, but I'll take it on that the people of River State.
Yeah, yes, that is immediate community.
From the calls we've gotten now, most of the calls are coming from Eshe, and you see they are congratulatory, they are happy. So that's to tell you. So if you say the people of Abonima, we are still. That means I'm indicting myself in this sectionalism we are talking about. It's the people of River State. They accepted him wholeheartedly. It's like it's like a breakthrough that this is what we've been looking for. These are the caliber of person. These are the kind of person. These are the quality of persons we intend to see. These are, he's one person that had portrayed himself as a role model. So you see the calls that are all coming from. So and one thing we must understand. Sorry to take it. One thing we must understand, that as a man who had handled the office of chieftaincy and community affairs, so you should see him as a true river son, because he had traversed almost all of the state, looking at meeting almost all of the kings who were on seat, who were on throne, as at that time he was commissioner, and then meeting with all the communities, CDCs, youth bodies, women, and all that. So you will understand that it's not a man now, as we see him, he's not a man for just Calabari or for Abonima, he's a man for River State, and by the office given to him, I think we should justice him Calabari, but he's a true River son.
SOBEREKON Clarke, did you feel the pulse of the heartbeat of the people when it was announced, when Dr. Tamina AKUKU was announced?
Of Rivers people?
Yes, of Rivers people.
Of course. You can, presently from the call that are just coming in, will attest to the fact that Rivers people are overexcited with the appointment of Dr. Tamina AKUKU for just one simple reason. Reason that is a role model, reason that is humble, reason that is superlatively qualified for the job because of his wealth of experience, and he had done this thing when he was commissioner for chieftaincy, and there was result, and people saw how he governed them, and that is why you see that almost all Rivers people are very happy, trying to express their happiness over his appointment. And this in fact, this thing is historic. I have never seen where a person is appointed in River State where you will see almost all the state, everybody jubilating, thanking all the callers here, no Calabari man. Remember, and that is why I said we shouldn't talk about Calabari issue or Abonima issue, or since we have been talking, no Abonima man or Calabari man has come to say thank you. So you say that AKUKU's kindness, goodness, or whatever, even the outsiders are even benefiting more from his lifestyle.
All right, well, for the past 1 hour or thereabout, we've been talking to Honorable SOBEREKON Clarke, a former citizen chairman of AKUKU local government area, as well as Barrister AWOERE LAWSON, who is the executive assistant to the chairman of AKUKU, the current chairman of AKUKU local government area. Some have described Dr. Tamina AKUKU as a strategist. Others say he's a right peg in the right hole. He himself has said that he is going to discharge his office with a sense of responsibility and humanity. We want to believe that these words will be matched by action. My name is Solomon Nelson Brain. I want to thank Mr. SOBEREKON Clarke for being a part of this program.
Thank you very much.
And Barrister AWOERE LAWSON, thank you so much for finding time to be with us here. And for
it's so short talking about Dr. Tamina.
Okay, I believe we are. Okay, for our viewers, we want to also thank you for finding time to participate, and of course sending in text messages. We know that time is not our friend, and we'll call it a day, and then we'll join next week, Thursday, where we shall bring in another guest to talk to us on this program. My name is Solomon Nelson Braid. Bye-bye.
What do you do on a Thursday afternoon? Having lunch? Taking a drink? Watching TV in your living room or office? How much do you know about the politics, economy, and how monies are being expended by those saddled with the responsibility of managing human, material, and natural resources? It's daring, incisive, revealing, and informative. Watch Stewardship with SMB every Thursday at 12:30 p.m. on RSTV. Join us.
This is where all